Hello, 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 and welcome to day number 2 of our musical theater research project. And so today we're going to be continuing on from our research from yesterday, or research from the last video. And we see that we've already filled out all of this stuff. So opening night details, great. Show synopsis and or summary, Tony Awards, and business info. Now we're looking for a show review. So someone who watches a show and reviews it. We're looking for a quote and the author. We're looking for members of the creative team. We're looking for members of the actors and actresses that are involved. And you might find the leading roles. And then we'll also look for a video clip to go along with this project. And I feel like the video clip is probably the most important thing, just because you get to look and listen and see what this musical actually is, instead of just researching it. So I think that's kind of the best part of this, so you can actually experience all those things. So let's start here at the show review. And I have this link in there, so go ahead and click on that, and this is going to take us to a website that has a ton of reviews for our shows. And I have it pulled up already, and you can see here that we've got all of the current shows. If you don't see your show on here, then you can scroll all the way to the top and go to the search bar. So I'm actually going to search for West Side Story. I do see it right here already, but I want to show you what that looks like. So I'm searching up West Side Story. Here it is. And this is the production that is currently being put on. And so if I keep scrolling all the way down, we'll see all of this stuff. Keep going. Here's where the theater is. Keep going, keep going. And our West Side Story review. So here's a review. We can read more. And the review is by Joe, and I'm not gonna say their last name, so I don't offend them in any way. But Joe made a review. He gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Cool. And what you can do here is read through and pick a paragraph or a sentence that you feel like really captures the idea of what he's saying, about the musical. And I can go down here too for what other critics said if you don't agree too much on what they were saying at the top. And here we go. So we've got one from New York Times, Time Out New York, New York Post, Variety Magazine. I am going to use this one because I've actually already read this. It says, Van Hove's West Side Story is likely to divide admirers of the show into warring camps. So people who have loved the show for a really long time are going to be really divided about this. And I think that's really interesting. But the revival approaches the show with the confidence of knowing that it does not need to be definitive. There will be other West Side Stories, including Steven Spielberg's film later this year. Interesting, didn't know that. Meanwhile, if Broadway is to be a place where artistic risk is valued, there is a place for this. So it sounds like it's going against what has been done before for this musical, and I think that's really cool. So it's from Adam Feldman of Time Out New York. I'm gonna copy and paste his quote over here. And we're going to put the author, Adam Feldman of Time Out New York, giving credit where credit is due. I really like that review because it, it doesn't say if it was good or bad. It just says that it is it's controversial for the people who know West Side Story. All right. So I'll let you pause here and then come back when you're ready to go on to the next thing. Okay, so now that we've found our show review, now we're going to look for people for the creative team and the actors and actresses. And we see here that I'm looking for biographies as well, but we're not going to do that today. I just want you to find the names of the people on the creative team, the names of the actors and actresses, and I'm going to show you where all that stuff is. So here we go. So to find the people of the creative team, I'm going to go to my shows page on Playbill, and that's right here. And all of those people can be found right here. And the people that are furthest on the left are going to be your main actors and main actress. You might have 2 actors, you might have 2 actresses, that's totally fine. But here I've got Matt Kavanaugh as Tony and Josefina Scaglione as Maria, and I'm going to type that in. Sorry, I went a little out of order, but these 2 are actors and actresses. So Matt Kavanaugh, and he plays Tony, and you can see that right here. It says he plays Tony. And then Josefina Scaglione plays Maria. Great. So now that I found my actors and actresses, now I'm going to look for people of the creative team. And it says here, who are 2 members of the creative team of the musical, usually listed as the book, composer, lyricist, choreographer, costume designer, makeup artist, etc. So these are people who kind of put the show together. And one way to find out some of that stuff is right here. The writer of the book is Arthur Lawrence. The music was written by Leonard Bernstein, and the lyrics were written by Stephen Sondheim. You can also go down here where it says production credits, and it'll list those people as well. And if you keep scrolling, like here's the choreographer. If you're super into dancing, then you might want to put that person down instead of the person who wrote the lyrics. Totally fine. Lighting design, costume design, sound design. Lots of really cool people to choose from. I'm going to go classic here. I'm going to go with the person who wrote the music and the person who wrote the lyrics. So I've got Leonard Bernstein, he wrote the music, and Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics. Now I'll write that down here. 2 people from the creative team. Leonard Bernstein wrote the music. Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics. And that should be all good for that. We'll do the biographies at a later date. It would just take way too long to do that now. And now I'm going to skip down to where it says, find a video clip of your show and write a summary sentence of what the video contains. All right, and where you can find that is just on YouTube, and there's different things that you can search, like, you know, let's say we're doing SpongeBob. Just using this as an example. And here we've got SpongeBob the Musical, SpongeBob Broadway. Let's try SpongeBob Musical Broadway. Alright, so there's a couple of videos of the production, and then you would just pick one to choose and paste the link. So let's do West Side Story now. And I'm going to do the West Side Story Broadway Revival. There is a movie version of West Side Story, but that's not the one that I want. I'm looking for the West Side Story Broadway Revival, and I did find a really nice video earlier. Here. So this is their cast and crew performing at the Tony Awards in 2009. And so I'm going to choose this one. Of course, you would watch through it all, because this is kind of the best part of this this project, actually getting to see all of the getting to see the actual work. So getting to see the actual musical and seeing what it's all about. You know, there's only so much that we can write about it before we actually get to experience it. So so I encourage you to watch a couple of videos, find one that you like the best. This one doesn't have too much singing in it, it's actually mostly dancing. And you can fast forward through this if you want, or I'm going to play through a couple minutes so you can see what's going on. Alright, I'm going to pause there, and now I'm going to take the link, that's this up here, I'm going to copy it, Control C, or you can press two fingers and copy, and then I'm going to go back to my packet here, I'm going to paste it in there, and just a brief description of what's going on. So, I've seen this before, so I just kind of know what to put down. You, of course, would watch the whole thing and then write a little summary about it. So for me, it'll be the Sharks and the Jets are at the school dance, and they are showing off their moves to each other. Do Tony and Maria meet at this point? Yes. And then Tony and Maria, our two characters, meet for the first time. And that's it. Alright, so all we did for day 2 is the show review, finding 2 people from the creative team, and that was through Playbill, finding 2 actors or actresses and who they play, and then finding the video on YouTube. There are videos through Playbill as well if you want to look there. Just make sure you get the link and paste it in here. So that was day number 2, and we'll do the biographies at a later date. But I hope you had a good time researching, and that's it for me. Thanks.